Receiving the Creative Arts Award meant a lot because it's a major award that the university gives. It's a lot of money and it's a lot of support.
I won the Creative Arts Award, Graduate Student Award, and I utilized that award to help put together my thesis exhibition in the Backspace Gallery of the Art Lofts.
The Creative Arts Award kindly funded our opera, Margaret in Love and War. It's about Margaret Fuller, who was this amazing woman from the 1840s. She was sent by Horace Greeley to be the first female war correspondent, and she documented the Italian Revolution, also known as the Risorgimento. She's the kind of person that if she was a guy, everybody would know her name. And so this is part of a movement in a way to get her name out there.
Within that space, I cultivated an immersive installation that involved bringing together people from the art community and beyond to participate in a celebratory meal called Kamayans. This meal is traditionally used for celebratory moments in America, but was originally a military form of brotherhood in the Philippines. So I'm thinking a lot about the transformation of an immigrant's journey from the Philippines to America through my lens as a Filipino-American woman.
We used the funds from the Creative Arts Award to fund this performance workshop premiere in New York at Symphony Space, paying singers, instrumentalists, our little orchestra. We used some of the funds from the Creative Arts Award to meet in Rome, where we looked at archives, we looked at the spaces she lived in. We did all sorts of things that Margaret might have done.
The Creative Arts Award was used to financially compensate people with helping me construct a lot of the environment, which was the art specifically, and then with a lot of the food materials. Based on the amount of food that was eaten, over 200 people did end up coming to the event, which according to my art department community was one of the largest gatherings in the Backspace Gallery, and if everybody ate good, that's all that matters to me.
Receiving the Creative Arts Award was extraordinary, and it meant a lot knowing that this idea that we had to talk about Margaret Fuller, to make a work about Margaret Fuller, actually had a way to happen.
Camera action.
Having people from my own cultural experience being there to set up something that we're all familiar with was amazing to share with the art department or people who were unfamiliar with this cultural celebration. And I don't think I would have been able to do this without the help of the funding from the Creative Arts Award and the Temkin Award, the community members, and the art department in general.
I would suggest to anybody that's interested in the Creative Arts Award, just find something you love and go with it.